Katie Ledecky is in training on the West Coast and could not break away. That's why she's so good at what she does. She works so hard. Training on the West Coast could not break away to be here tonight. But her mother, Mary Jen Ledecky, and brother Michael Ledecky are with us here to present the award to them as one of the Hall's visionaries, true visionaries, former county executive Ike Leggett.
Good evening. When I first had an opportunity to meet Katie, my assumption was, based on the record-setting performance, her determination, her grit, the hard work that you see, that this would be a very, very tough young lady, one who is ferocious in personality. In reality, it was just the opposite. Just the opposite, with a very humbling personality, a very warm smile, a gracious person. You saw just a little bit of a clip of a video in which we honored her right here in this very same hall. And I was impressed not only with her records and the achievements, but two things stood out very clear for me. One of which was the very strong family connection, how she related to kids, how humble she was. At the end of a very long program that evening, a night here that was extremely cold, very, very cold outside, and recognizing that we had a large number of kids in the audience, and they wanted to really touch her, to take a photograph, to get an autograph. I leaned over to her and I said, would you mind standing around just for a little bit to take a few photographs? A few photographs turned out to be hundreds. She stood right there, taking photographs with every kid that walked up, signing every autograph that wanted to be signed. All of that was on display right here. So when we honor an athlete of this greatness, this is an athlete who is tethered to family, who is humble, and reflects the best not only of the family, but our community and sports. That's what the Hall of Fame is about. When Gabe came to me with this idea, it wasn't just about how we honor athletes, but how we reflect a broader community spirit, how we recognize the contributions that have been made by coaches, how we recognize the contributions that have been made by other of the athletes' teammates. More importantly, the sacrifices that have been made by the family. When you see that families have taken these young people around, whether or not it's football or soccer or basketball, going from one event to the other, the financial sacrifices that they've made, we're also honoring family. So I want to again thank Gabe for bringing this idea forward. I had the common sense to accept it. You heard from Gabe a little bit earlier. Now, Gabe only made one mistake. He got a little bit excited. He said that athletes and sports bring people together. Well, with a few exceptions. I am a retired military Army captain. I will never accept a Navy win over anything. And Dave, I guess you could say the same thing about Alabama and Auburn and Alabama, Michigan and Ohio State, Texas and Texas A&M. So athletes and sports bring us together to a degree, but we also have that competitiveness. But underneath all of that competitiveness, we see in Katie a very warm, humble young lady who represents the best of this. Mary, please come forward. Family, please come forward to accept this moment.
Thank you, Mr. Leggett, and thank you, Trish, for all the work that you've done for this. My son is up here. My husband, Katie's father, is sitting down, a little camera shy. But we thank you so much, Montgomery County. We'd like to recognize Mr. Leggett and Mr. Albernaz for really bringing this idea to fruition. I think when Katie swam in her first Olympics, it was her first international swim meet ever, and it happened to be the Olympics. And she was 15 years old and returned afterwards, after she won the gold, to return to school. She was going to be a sophomore at Stone Ridge and welcomed by all of her classmates and teachers there. But I looked this up. On September 4th, Mr. Leggett invited Katie and the other Montgomery County Olympians just to have a nice reception over at the County Executive Office building. And he invited Katie and her family, all of us, to come into his office. And we had just a special, nice, quiet meeting with him without cameras, without any fanfare before the ceremony. And it was so touching that he took the time to spend with us and to celebrate Katie's win and her roots here in Montgomery County. She started as a swimmer in the Montgomery County Swim League at age 6. And we have a joke in our family that everything in life comes back to the Montgomery County Swim League. And as an example, last year she swam in Tokyo and gave a clinic to 100 Japanese swimmers in Tokyo. And afterwards she met all of the swimmers and took pictures and so forth. But wouldn't you know, there was a mother and a daughter there with a Bethesda swimming shirt on that said MCSL. And they had lived in Montgomery County for 2 years, and they were part of the Montgomery County Swim League. And then this past summer, Katie swam in South Korea, and after she won her 800 freestyle on the last evening, some young guy, well, he's in his 20s, with an American flag tied around his back, came running up to me, and he said, "I swam at Rockshire." And he was teaching English in Korea and was, of course, a member of the Montgomery County Swim League growing up. So we have so many great memories of our kids growing up here. We still live here. We still live in the same house in Bethesda. And Katie wishes she could be here. And we'll get all the detail from us. She's back in the water training hard out in California. And she will be here in the future for a future induction of some of the Hall of Fame classes in the future, and will be a huge supporter of this county, as she always has been. She loves it here, and she'll be back. Thank you.
We're going to picture, and then we're going to hear from Katie herself. But it doesn't happen unless you get a picture and put it on Twitter, so that's how the rules work around here. Let's hear from the Ledecky family. And now let's hear from Katie Ledecky.
Good evening, everyone. I'm really sorry that I can't be there tonight to celebrate this first class of the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame. I'm out here at Stanford training really hard for this upcoming year, but I really, really wish that I could be there in Montgomery County to celebrate with everyone and to really honor all the other inductees. Congratulations to all the inductees. I want to first thank the Montgomery County Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors, and especially Mr. Ike Leggett, for this tremendous honor and for all of the support that you have shown me over the years through the Olympics and through my whole life, really, growing up in Montgomery County. I started swimming when I was 6 years old for the Palisades Porpoises in the Montgomery County Swim League. And that's where I found that I really loved the sport, and I met so many great people, so many great friends. We joke that everything always comes back to the Montgomery County Swim League. You meet people in different countries that come up to you and say that they swam for another team in the MCSL, and that's such a cool thing. And I really appreciate all the parents and volunteers that make MCSL such a fun thing to do in the summer for any young kid. I also want to thank my schools, Little Flower School and Stonebridge School of the Sacred Heart, for giving me such a great education and for the community and friendships that you all have shown and given me over the years, and for giving me such a great education that has set me up so well for the college experience that I've had here at Stanford. I also want to thank my family, of course, for having the great sense to live in Montgomery County. My parents and my brother, we've lived in Montgomery County my whole life, and I can't think of a better place to call home. So I really appreciate all the support that I've received from Montgomery County. I feel very lucky to have lived in Montgomery County and to call so many of you my friends, and I feel so lucky that I've gone to the Olympics and had the opportunities that I've had because of how it's shown me what a strong community this is and how many great friends I do have supporting me and really backing me when I'm at those international competitions. So in conclusion, I just again want to say I'm so sorry that I can't be there. I'm training hard to hopefully make it to my third Olympics this upcoming year. Thank you for your support and have a good evening.